standing up here. Such beautiful people. Thank you so much for coming today. So appreciate sharing our work with people who can appreciate creativity. So these all come from my own life, my memory as far as I can remember. But some of my family has heard the stories. I don't know whether you get this. When you tell a story, they'll go, nah, that's not the way it happened. So I got that from my kid. Nah, that wasn't the way it happened. But we each have our own history and our own memories of what we remember, and that's the most important thing. So these particular stories come from a solo show that I created called Turning Point, going from a lovely people pleaser to a badass redhead. I'm 7 years old. It's my first day of elementary school at Brickett School in Lynn, Mass. I'm so excited. And my mom, to her, the only thing that's important is that you walk out of the house and you look beautiful. That was it. So, I was lucky though. She bought me this beautiful pink pinafore dress, black patent leather Mary Jane shoes, and lace socks. And she did my hair in braids, and she found a ribbon to match the dress. Oh my God, I felt like a princess. I was so excited. It was just the best. And Mom and I get to the Brickett School, we get to the steps, and there's a reporter there from our only newspaper, the Daily Lynn Item. And he wants to take a picture of me, my first day of school. How exciting is that? So, and it's going to be in the paper that night. So, anyway, we go up the stairs, we go down the room, and my mom and I meet Miss Dukas, my teacher. And my goodness, she's kind, and she doesn't look old at all. She's got brown hair, and she's dressed in a suit, and she's so sweet. And she talks to Mama, and then she takes me into the room, introduces me, and I see Joy, and I see my friend Joan. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be left alone. I got my two buddies. So anyway, had a wonderful morning. And then we decide to go out in the recess, in the playground. So in those days, a playground was black tar, high wire fence. We were on a main street, Lewis Street. So I'm hanging back at the fence, and all of a sudden, this older boy, I think he was in 4th grade, comes walking over to me. Hi, what's your name? Hi, I'm Sherry Goldberg. The minute he heard my name, he yelled out, Sherry Goldberg is a dirty Jew, and I'm gonna get her. Now, I wish I could tell you I beat the crap out of him. But I was scared to death. So the thing I was really scared about was coming home. Going in the morning, I could go with my friend Joy. But coming back, sometimes Joy had to go shopping with her mom. And sure enough, one day, that day happened. I stood on the steps of the Brickett School at 3 o'clock for a half hour. I was terrified. I had to go home. So I didn't walk, I didn't run, I think I flew. And Lewis Street was okay because it was busy. But then I had to make a left at Nahant Street, and Nahant was very quiet. That's where I really got scared. So I'm running down Nahant Street, maybe a block away from my street, Ocean Street. And then all of a sudden, I feel something on my back. And I look down, and it's empty food cans. And I hear, Sherry Goldberg is a dirty Jew, and I'm gonna get her. Terrorized. I ran and made a left on Ocean Street, and two houses in, my driveway, I turn around, and he left. I go and I get my latchkey, I open up the back door to the kitchen, and I stand in the kitchen and I cry. Why am I doing this alone? Why is there no one to help me? Why is nobody defending me? Many years later, I had a divorce and I was with a new love, Michael, and we lived in downtown Brooklyn, and we had merged families of 4 boys. Oh my God, can you believe that? 4 boys. Anyway, one day my youngest son comes home and he says to me, Mom, one of the kids on the block called me a dirty Jew. We knew who it was. So on this block in Brooklyn, you didn't call the police. You took care of it yourself. And the godfather of the block lived in our house on the garden apartment. His name was Joe. I went to Joe and I told him. Joe said, Sherry, it'll never happen again. And it didn't. But another thing people have asked me, why didn't anybody help you? Why didn't anybody stand up? This was during what they call the silent generation, from the 30s to the 50s. People had so many problems, or families, nobody talked to each other. So you see what can happen when you can't relate to each other, you can't connect, you don't talk. And if women had any mental problems at the time, there was no therapy, there was no medication, there were shock treatments. And they called them insane asylums. And sometimes they'd put them in there and throw away the key. So there was no help. And we just gotta do better. Hopefully, we learned some of the lessons from the past, so we don't continue on with this BS now. So we need to connect with each other, and this is a beautiful way of connection, just being here today, connecting to each other. So I am newly divorced. Yay! But what? I've been this actress for 10 years, all these part-time jobs. I need a full-time job. I'm responsible for 2 kids. I need a full-time job. I always felt I sucked in business. But in the early 90s, all there were newspapers. They were everywhere, as you probably know. They were in the house, they were on the street, they were everywhere. So I put an ad in the Situations Wanted column. No, it wasn't the Situations Roommate Wanted column. And I wanted an apartment share in New York on the Upper West Side, near Riverside Park. And sure enough, I get a call from this woman, and she lives exactly where I want to live, and she needs a roommate. So I'm not working, and we make a plan to meet the next day, Monday morning. I get on the block, it's tree-lined, it's gorgeous. And it has a doorman. Oh my God, am I in luck? So the doorman announces me, and she's on the first floor. I press the button, open the door, there's Janet. Adorable. Blonde hair, blue eyes, chatty, really friendly, probably in her 40s. And then in those days, wall-to-wall carpeting was the be-all, end-all. And that's what she had. And her bedroom was to the right where the living room was. And straight ahead, oh my God, a big picture window. And you could see outside, you could sit at a kitchen table, and there was even a door. You could go out back. Oh, am I in luck? Woohoo! And then my room was in the hallway next to the bathroom. The best. Go in the room, 11 by 14, big window, bureaus, beautiful bed, closets, desks, lamps. I had everything in storage. I'm ready to go. So when I move in that Friday, my girlfriend brings a bottle of wine. We're feeling no pain. And the door, there's just a little latch on it. Who cares? Anyway, all of a sudden I hear schlepping. That's what I call it. My roommate schlepping back and forth in the hallway, and she goes into the bathroom, turns on the light, turns on the cold water, turns on the hot water, walks out, and schleps back and forth, back and forth. Okay, my roommate and I are feeling no pain. Who cares? So, the next day, that night, I have a date who's coming over, and he's a stonemason at Cathedral of St. John the Divine, and I met him in Riverside Park. I have a funny feeling he's going to stay the night. So we're having a good time. And once again, I kid you not, schlepping, back and forth, back and forth. This time, I'm getting nervous. Something is really wrong with this woman. She goes into the bathroom, turns on the light, turns on the hot water, turns on the cold water, schlepping back and forth. And I'm going, oh dear, I made a huge mistake. This woman is crazy. So I don't say anything to the guy. And the next day, I go out, and again, I get the Village Voice, the now defunct Village Voice, which was free. And I look up, apartment share. Guess what? Take a guess. She's got my room for rent. She hasn't said one word. Okay. I lost it. I had my running outfit on. I proceeded to take off my sneakers, my socks, my running pants, my underpants, my bra. I walk over to the door because I hear voices, 2 female voices. She's showing my apartment without telling me. So I open the door, completely naked. She screams and runs out of the building. The prospective tenant, boy, she never knew how lucky I saved her life. She just rolled those eyes and got the hell out of there. And I shut the door, got dressed, called my kid, told him what happened. He picked me up to take me to my girlfriend. Believe me, I'm walking out of the building with my son. I say to the doorman, did you see that crazy loon? Sherry, you gotta learn something. If you have a doorman and you're moving in with somebody, that you don't know? Ask us. I would have told you. She's a crazy loon. They're constantly taking her out in a straitjacket. And her father is a big-time judge, pays everybody off, and keeps it quiet. Oh my God, did I learn a lesson. And guess what? I got a studio around the corner. No more of that stuff. No more. So then, okay, now I need a full-time job. No fooling around. And I'm not sure anyway, I think I got the stories mixed up, but that's okay. I did. I got the stories mixed up. I'm sorry. Anyway, I told you about Nora and a blonde, that whole bit. And the newspapers were making fun of us. Nora was in B movies, and she also had a great energy drink on the market. But they were crucifying her because I found out later the book that I'm supposed to work on is 12 years old. How to satisfy a woman every time and have her beg for more. Anyway, I took the job because I just was desperate. So, within 3 weeks, she told me I was the best she had ever had. I said, why? She said, because you can turn a no into a yes. So I'll give you an instant. Imus in the Morning was across America. Little did we know how racist he was in the beginning, but we sure as hell found out later. And I would call the producer once a week for 4 weeks. And finally, hey, Patrick, this is Sherry Rosen with How to Satisfy a Woman Every Time. If I hear that name one more time, I'm gonna scream. Patrick, this is my job. And I'm telling you, Nora and Imus are a match made in heaven. Please. So, okay, limousine tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. After that, he had her on once a month for probably 5 years. They were great together. And you know what else was so great? Do you know when people want you to fail, they desperately want you to fail, and you push yourself up and you thrive. The book went to this 12-year-old book went on the New York Times bestseller list, and it stayed there for 63 weeks. So to prove people wrong, it was the greatest joy, one of the greatest joys of my life, plus the fact it showed me I had skills in business, which I never knew I had. Thank you so much for allowing me to share my stories with you.